On behalf of First Spiritualist Church and Reverend Loretta Pyle, I welcome you to today's service. My name is Jesse Gawlik, and I am your guest speaker today. Loretta approached me just yesterday, actually, and asked me if I would be interested in conducting this sermon, since I'm already doing the special music, and of course I agreed. So I had to quickly grab some of this knowledge that I've been receiving over the past few months. Something to share with you that I think that you will find quite valuable. The past few months have presented me with some events that have been absolutely life-changing. And while I don't think I'm going to take the time to describe those events here today, I do want to share with you what I have uncovered. And it's something very powerful that I think can transform anyone. It will transform everyone. So, what is this? It's duality. The concept of duality is based in fear. Concept of duality is based in fear. Work, life, good, bad, right, wrong, open, close, start, finish, right? This duality, this man-made creation. So to further explain what I mean, I want to step back a little bit, right? I want to talk about the known dimensions in our universe, right? The first dimension, right, is the core of the earth. They call it the crystal iron core of the earth. And as far as we know, it is the densest matter in the entire universe, and the only of its kind, right? We haven't been able to find any other earth-like structure in the entire universe, right? So the iron core crystal is pulling everything to it. Everything. From across the entire galaxy as far as we know. The second dimension is the earth, the mantle, right? The crust. It's the space that the materials that we interact with on Gaia, on our planet, right? On our home. And the third dimension is how we experience that two dimensions and the one dimensions, right? One dimension we feel the gravity to the center of the earth, and the two dimensions, these are all the materials we have to interact with in our space, right? We actually only see in two dimensions. I don't know if you knew that, but we are just taking a bunch of pictures in our eyes in two dimensions and then piecing together a three-dimensional picture in our head. Look it up. So that brings us then to the fourth dimension, which not all of us are familiar with, yet we are existing in all the time. Let me explain. Fourth dimension is the collective consciousness, right? It's the pure love of God. It is all thoughts, ideas, creations, souls, words, everything is encompassed in the fourth dimension, in the love of God, the love of spirit, and perfection is without impurities, right? That's the fourth dimension. Now, one thing we need to grasp and to understand why duality is a concept based in fear, we need to have a nonlinear time sense, right? We think of everything as having a start and a finish. Well, in the fourth dimension, there is no time, right? This is something we only experience in the third dimensions and lower. So there is no time in the fourth dimension. So if we believe that, and we can prove that, if we believe that, we look at the dualities that exist in our everyday culture, in our everyday lives, in our everyday mindset, right? You look at work, life, There's no time. It's just life. It's everything that we do. We look at right or wrong. It's up to you what's right or wrong. We look at good and evil. You know, who's to say what is good and what is evil? It is your reality. There is no time or space in which for it to manifest itself, right? Is it open or closed? Does it really matter? Is there a start and a finish? What if the start happened before you were even born? What if there was a contract that you made with God before you even stepped foot on this earth, right? And what if our work is never really finished? If there is no time, how do you even grasp on a start and a finish, right? So hopefully you can understand what I'm getting at here. When we remove our nonlinear time sense, when we understand our place in the third and fourth dimension as a humanity, as the physicalities that we are represented with, when we look at duality, this with or without, we look at the with or the without, you are creating a statement of fear. Mama will be home soon. But there is no time, son, so you don't have to worry. She will be here relatively. What? You don't think that's funny? He doesn't think it's funny. I mean, think about it. We can travel to the past. In our minds, right now, we can live that moment. One powerful transformation tool, if we believe that time doesn't exist and it's actually happening right now, if we're revisiting it in our mind right now, it's existing right now. And so we can actually change the feelings that we have about that moment in time. We can give ourselves forgiveness for the shame that we felt, or the embarrassment, or for making that move that we thought was wrong, that it affected somebody negatively. We can give ourselves now. We can visit that space in time now, because time doesn't exist. So when you do that exercise, particular actually, what you're doing is healing your being. You're removing guilt and fear and shame. You're removing those things from your being and creating a clearer path, a clearer antenna to spirit, to Mother and Father God, which are never separate and never were. We just sometimes feel like they are. Why is that? Why do you feel separate from God? I'll tell you right now that God is not separate from you. So if you feel separate from Him, you're creating it yourself. Creating it yourself. You're creating the duality. Do not create a duality. Do not live in a land of right or wrong, or this choice or that choice, or this direction or that direction. If time is non-existent, what does it matter if you have to spend another year or two in the job that you're working at right now to get to your ultimate goal, right? We all should be dreaming, creating, dreaming, exploring our deepest and darkest ambitions, right? Maybe not our darkest ones, maybe our lightest ambitions. We should be exploring our ambitions and dreaming the biggest dream we can have. And don't put a time limit on it. That is the key. Because when you put a time limit on it, you are creating a duality between here and now, between now and then, right? It is a duality. It does not exist. It is a creation of your mind. And when we fully engulf ourselves, remove that concept of separation, we are set free. We are one with And it's with that message that I will leave you to think and do some research on your own. All the love. I am Jesse Gawlik, Shaman Celeste, and I love you.
Daddy.